This is 2010 Volvo V50. We are doing a radio. There are no integration, no dash kit made for this vehicle. We're gonna put this 9-inch detachable face wireless CarPlay radio in. We're gonna customize the dash kit. First thing we're gonna do is remove this center dash silver trim out. The first thing we're gonna do is remove this silver trim starting from the back panel. I have partially out. Carefully pry this out. Okay, and disconnect the lighter plug. The second part is we're gonna remove this little plastic trim on the e-brake that slides out that way. Okay, so it has a clips locked in this way, so you gotta pull out this way. Directly under here, there is a torque number screw. What is it, number 35? Yeah, this is torque number 35. 25, not 35. And we're gonna take that out. Kind of snug, and you're not really going straight down. It's angled, but it's doable. And there should be another one on the other side. You kind of have to wedge in the screwdriver. So you kind of have to wedge the tool to move that dash away from where the screw lines up with a straight line. So that's screw, you're taking it out. The next step is we're going to remove this plastic trim that just pries out. The reason we are taking that out is there are two screws under part of it we're going to have to remove. Okay, so there are clips right here on the top. Once you pry that out, there should be screws. Where are they? And you're going to take this black trim out. Now you can access those two. Once you disconnect this CAN bus fiber optic cable here, a lot of the functions on the car side is not going to work. Such as some cars, the cluster doesn't work, the window doesn't work, the door lock doesn't work. So that has to go back in place. So we're going to remove these torque screws right here. Same thing as the torque number 25. Then we're going to remove that silver trim out. So it simply lifts up, disconnect the green plug, and more access. And you kind of have to slide this piece out. That's where the bolt, the two torque screws were. And you're just going to gently pry that out. Okay, so good. Came out. So now you can access this actual radio place right there. So we're going to remove those two screws there. Should slide out. Pull that out. Yeah, it's gonna come out of smoke, but it should come out. So it's snug, but it will come out. It's supposed to come out. have to detach the cable first because that's going to hit this plastic crossbar. Dumb way to do it, but that's how they do it. So you have it out. Now you can disconnect all the harnesses. We are disconnecting factory amplifier because there are no integration made for this car, so we are gonna bypass the amp, meaning a lot of people ask me, what do you mean by bypassing the amp? That means we are not using factory amp. We're gonna run speaker wires directly to the speaker wire up to the radio. So new radio has built-in amplifier. We are using this radio's amplifier, not the factory amp. So all these fiber optic cable need to be looped, because if you don't loop it, as I said, a lot of the functions on the car side is not going to work. So we do have a loop for these two. Alright, so the amplifier is in the trunk. We're going to bypass. Before we do it, I purchased this fiber optic audio input module. We're going to try this first to see if that works. If that works, we don't have to bypass the amp. Okay, the fiber optic module didn't work out, so we're going to bypass the amp. The amp is on this side. We're going to get to the amp. Okay, so you can reach, this is an amplifier. There's a black amplifier there. You can reach underneath and simply unplug it. And all speaker wires are there. I'll upload it. This is DirectX wiring diagram. So we're just going to run 9 conductor wire from here. This is a 9 conductor wire. Basically, it has the all 4 speaker wires plus the amp turn on, which we're not going to use. But these 4 wires, which is for the speakers, we're going to connect them here and run it up to the front. So you do have to put loop on here, because if you don't do loop, the cluster doesn't come on. Window door lock may not work properly, so be sure to put the loop on it. This has to be plugged in, and that we're just going to bury behind because it's got space underneath. Alright, so I had to disassemble this display module because when I try to put this one in, it was actually sticking up a little bit too high. So I don't need a display part of it. The only thing I need is the main board. So put some paper on it so it fits behind the radio. So I'm just gonna put this back in place so it loops. The other one, I put the bypass fiber optic connection on it. So this part you don't need. This one I put loop on it. I'm gonna grab the power from here. So all I have to do is cut this off, because detachable phase radio we are putting it in. It has about 1.5 to 2-inch extension. So I'm just gonna notch this out. That should be enough to have the radio phase go through it. I'm going to make it more flush by cutting this side ones off. This slider is ignition. This big heavy gauge red yellow is the constant wire. Right. So we ran ignition wire from the lighter plug here. The ground is right here, and constant is this heavy gauge red yellow wire. So we ran 9 conductor wire from the amplifier in the back. We're also doing subwoofer, so we ran RCA, and we're going to use that blue wire on this 9 conductor, which we don't need. We're going to use that as a trigger wire for the amp.
Elenga. Estamos preparando la tapita. Ya va quedando beautiful. Estamos preparando la tapita. Ya va quedando beautiful la tapita.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, beautiful.
Elenga.
We gotta make it wider so we can touch the buttons on the back. We gotta make it wider so we can reach these 2 buttons. We pop the ignition fuse. The fuse panel is under the dash on the passenger side. Right there.
Atrás, como abajito del rayo atrás o abajo, porque abajo del rayo se derrota y da choque y le saca toda una casa.
Ajá. Sunday es una serie de historieta del oeste creada por el guionista Víctor Mora y los dibujantes Víctor y Ramón de la Fuente para la agencia Selecciones Ilustradas a partir de 1900.
No creo, yo le vi por ahí que